Bitcoin is down. It's tanking. Bitcoin is down 15% since it listed on the ETFs. Do you think this is going to go much lower? Are you worried about this? See, the reason why Bitcoin is selling off is that we expected a lot of buying from like BlackRock and all these Wall Street ETFs once the ETFs were listed. But in fact, everyone forgot about GBTC. That's the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, right? And they've been selling. Like in one day, they sold something like $484 million worth of Bitcoin. And this is set to continue. Why is this happening? Well, you see, this is because back then during the bull market of 2020 and 2021, when Bitcoin was going through the roof, a lot of these hedge funds bought a lot of Bitcoin, right? And they deposited with Grayscale, GBTC. Not only did they deposit it there, they also bought it on leverage, which means they did it using borrowed money, right? And why did they do that? Well, that's because back then GBTC was the only trust type of ETF type of vehicle around. So by doing this, they could actually deposit their Bitcoins onto Grayscale, GBTC, at a premium, right? At a premium, which they were making paper profit already as soon as they deposit those Bitcoins. It was only paper profit because they couldn't actually sell and get out of there because it was a closed-end trust. They had to wait to an ETF for it to be listed, then to be able to get their Bitcoins off. But then, of course, as we all know, Bitcoin crashed to like 20K and then 15K as predicted by Pablo. But however, these people couldn't get out. And not only could they not get out, they were also holding a lot of these Bitcoins on borrowed money, So of course, the lenders came knocking and these people went bankrupt. Is any of this true? Well, do you remember Three Arrows Capital? They were one of the largest hedge funds in crypto. And their founder is this guy called Zhu Su, right? He's Singaporean. He was like 34, 32 years old, and he was a billionaire for about half a year, right? Now the company's bankrupt, and now they're being sued by all those investors that I was talking about. And they were the ones who actually brought Luna down. So since 3AC is bankrupt, so their creditors, right, to these sort of hedge funds are now selling, getting out at the first chance they can, because one, Bitcoin's back up to like mid 40s again, and two, this is borrowed money. They never wanted to invest in Bitcoin in the first place, so they're getting out. So there's a lot of selling pressure. But it's not just them. There are more creditors. Who am I talking about? What about FTX? Remember the crypto exchange that was, backed by people like Sam Bankman-Fried and, Gisele Bundchen and her husband, Tom Brady? Well, yes, they went bankrupt as well, as we all know. And this is the FTX trust assets that are now with the trustees, or the liquidators who are trying to sell these so they can pay back all the poor customers, with FTX. And see, they actually hold, right, the FTX trustees actually hold 22.3 million of these Grayscale or GBTC shares, right? And they were valued even back in October around, 600 mil. So now they're worth about $800 million, right? That's another, $800 million that's about to sell. So of course, Bitcoin is now forming this huge topping tail on a weekly chart. This is the weekly chart, and it's not looking good. So the best scenario I'm thinking is some sort of bounce here to about 45.5K, and then pull back, right? The best scenario is a bounce off here around 39, wick to 38K and keep going up if there's more positive news. If not, then could actually come back and retest this 34, 33K area, right? Sounds crazy, sounds impossible, but usually that's what happens. It tends to do the things that are least expected by the market. What happens next? Follow Pablo for more updates.